Bum, 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 bum. New York was once a draw for miners, but environmental concerns are weighing on the industry. New York's Bitcoin mining companies are increasingly considering abandoning their aspirations in what was once a promised land as the state's legislature considers a bill to ban new mining projects that use carbon-based energy sources, pending a review of the industry's environmental impact. The New York State Senate is looking at a bill calling for a 2-year moratorium on new crypto mining projects that use gas, coal, or other non-renewable energy sources after the assembly version of the bill passed the state's lower house last month. Quote, all cryptocurrency companies have a permanent hold on starting businesses in New York due to the political and regulatory ambiguity. If the bill were to pass, New York would become a permanent afterthought for the industry, end quote, said Kyle Schnaps, director of public policy at Foundry, one of the largest miners in the U.S., which is based in Rochester, New York. Foundry is owned by CoinDesk's parent company, Digital Currency Group. So keep in mind, this is also an article on CoinDesk. So yeah, Foundry's planned expansions in the state will quote, will be curtailed along with hiring, end quote, Schnapp said. The bill, which passed to the state Senate in late April, calls for a moratorium on proof-of-work mining powered by non-renewable sources, the type used in the Bitcoin network, in the state while its environmental impact is assessed. Most crypto mining companies are staying away from the state because of authorities' seemingly negative stance towards the industry, said Whit Gibbs, CEO of Compass Mining, a marketplace that matches miners with investors around the world. Didar, co-founder of Kazakhstan's based miner Zybe.io, who wants to expand operations into the U.S., told CoinDesk that he is leaning towards Texas because of favorable regulation and the availability of cheap electricity. Regulatory uncertainty, including the bill, is one reason why mining firms are less likely to move to New York. One executive from a local mining hosting firm told CoinDesk, increases in the energy prices are another reason. The executive attributed the uptick in electricity rates to global macro events such as the conflict in Ukraine, as well as the growing cost of complying with renewable energy mandates in New York. The executive asked not to be identified, citing fear of retribution from environmental advocates and local officials. There are more people on your side than you think. Just you don't have to dox yourself, but look, just speak out. It's fine. This bill sends a, quote, clear message to the crypto industry that New York is closed for business, end quote, Snepsh said. It sets a dangerous precedent and is a case of government overreach in that it limits a new industry's right to energy, thus dooming the industry to failure, he said. And that is an interesting one. Limiting one industry's access to power over another industry's access to power, especially if you consider the fact that crypto mining is not as environmentally damaging from what we started to see in a lot of the papers as some other industries. Look, it's just the way it is. We also, every time we talk about this, I want to bring it up, but the capabilities of cryptocurrency mining to reduce the waste of power consumption. And I think that's a fair point that should be brought up more. But this is frustrating for sure. And I think I do agree here as far as it's setting a dangerous precedent in the case of government overreach. And you shouldn't limit one industry over another industry. While the bill targets only mining operations that use fossil fuels, those that use renewable energy are wondering if they are next. John Olson, who leads the New York policy and advocacy group, the Blockchain Association, told CoinDesk, the original language of the bill called for a moratorium on all types of mining, he said. Quote, any kind of moratorium in statute is problematic because it can always be expanded or extended, end quote, Olson said. And this goes back, this frustrates me because this goes back to what we've talked about before, where they're utilizing the environmental argument to attack cryptocurrency mining and proof of work. But when it actually comes to the writing of the policies, it's clear that they are targeting cryptocurrency mining and proof of work as a whole. And as far as the environmental portion, that's just FUD. That's an excuse. It's not the real reason. The real reason is they have better control over proof of stake projects. Hence, if you want to get on tinfoil hats, why you see problems with UST and Luna recently, why we hear rumors of attacks that will be happening on other proof of stake chains. This is some sort of concerted effort to get rid of proof of work by the government. To me is what it seems like, because why wouldn't there be some sort of stipulation between if you hit these marks with renewable, then you're okay? No, we're just going to ban it all. We're going to use this excuse of environmental concerns, but we're going to ban all of it. It doesn't add up. Seems like a concerted attack on proof of work. Miners that Valkyrie Investments has spoken to think that passing such regulations would likely cause them to reconsider New York going forward, said Stephen McClurg, the asset management firm's chief investment officer. But as the situation stands now, renewable energy powered mines don't have much reason to move elsewhere, he said. CoinMint, which operates a Bitcoin mine with 435 megawatts of power capacity at a former aluminum smelter in Messina, New York, refused to comment on the bill specifically. But CEO David Fogel said its New York subsidiary operates, quote, in an environmentally responsible way by using renewable hydroelectric power, end quote. Investments in mining in New York predate the exodus of miners from China, and the state is now at the epicenter of a debate about how to regulate miners in the U.S. New York is rich in hydroelectric power. 70% of its locally produced energy is hydro, but that supplies only a quarter of the energy demand in the state, according to the state's power authority. It also boasts some of the cheapest electricity prices for businesses in the northeastern U.S. Environmental concerns have followed the crypto miners, with one mine in particular the target of environmentalist ire, the Greenidge mine near Seneca Lake in upstate New York. It's a 1937 coal power plant that was converted into a natural gas facility in 2014 and now houses 19,400 Bitcoin mining rigs, with plans to add another 29,800 machines by the end of the year. Environmentalists claim that the mine is polluting the lake and jeopardizes the state's carbon emissions goals. My head just broke. Can somebody explain to me how the miners themselves are emitting any kind of carbon pollution? Am I missing something? The data centers, are they just spitting out carbon all over the place? And I didn't know this. And I've been spending all my time in these data centers breathing in okay, what? That doesn't even make sense. They have asked authorities and the government to deny renewal of the plant's air pollution permits. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation put off a decision on the issue until June 30th, just 2 days after the primaries are scheduled to be held to nominate candidates for governor, while the state Supreme Court denied a preliminary injunction that would have stopped the mine's operations before a decision is made. In December of last year, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat, asked the company to provide information about its carbon footprint, saying that, quote, mining operations at Green Ridge and other plants raise concerns about their impacts on global environment, on local ecosystems, and on consumer electricity costs, end quote. Hey, go ask Google, your little butt buddies, about how much pollution their data centers are pumping out, all right? Little Senator Warren, getting your little, golly, come on. This is just dumb. This is like, bro, it doesn't even make sense. Hey guys, I didn't know if you know this, but your computers are emitting carbon. You devil. Look, carbon and like as far as environmental impact, the energy you use has an environmental impact, yes. As far as carbon emissions and etc., it depends on the type of power that you're utilizing, right? But the specific machine that you're utilizing doesn't, like, as far as like the PC itself isn't like emitting carbon. That now, there could be some like, there are things that we could talk about from that perspective as well, though. Like, there would be different cars, whatever. If you're utilizing a vehicle, yes, that would have carbon emissions or whatever. But the problem that I have here is it seems like they're specifically saying that the mine here is polluting the lake, which doesn't make much sense at all because it's being powered, 70% of it's being powered off of the hydro. So it doesn't like once again, like it comes down to like the argument not lining up with the actions. It just doesn't really make sense. It doesn't compute. I don't know what you guys are doing in New York, but it's confusing me. It's you guys. I like. Do we like for? I don't know. My brain hurts. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.